Hi friends, I hope you have a wonderful day, and this time I'm gonna be reacting to actually Fernando Alonso, but the real name of the video is Aston Martin Fumbles the Bag. The name is interesting, and so yeah, I wanna know. So yeah, let's just check it out.
The Aston Martin AMR 23 is perhaps the car that's got most tongues wagging in the opening days of testing of the 2023 Formula 1 season here in Bahrain.
Try around the outside, but he is going to try the inside of turn 10. What a super line, and celebrates a dream debut with Aston Martin. Alonso. Lewis Hamilton is in the slipstream of Fernando Alonso. These two had a great battle here last year. There is no battle this year. Up to the inside. What a great move from Fernando Alonso. Alonso is second for his return to the podium. Fernando Alonso getting past Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg trying to hang on to the point here till this year. Hamilton getting past. And Alonso's fears about the race pace are proving correct.
Aston Martin in 2024 has been one word: mediocre. Before the start of the season, the team hyped their fans up so hard that they would see a fight for the Drivers' Championship, maybe the Constructors, Alonso to have a brilliant start to the season like in Bahrain 2023, and even Stroll as well, even if nobody likes that motherfucker.
There's an endangered species right there.
Just to get some mid-ass results, and even had Alpine, Haas, and Williams be faster than them in more than one race. You just know that this team is in the shit when people are saying that Adrian Newey is their only saving grace. And even if the team does have Newey, it doesn't change the fact that Aston Martin's 2024 season is actually beyond saving. They hype themselves up to be a strong contender for the championship, but now, even if Fernando would win the rest of the races this season, he still won't be in the championship fight.
How? Hold on, bro.
Huh?
How? I'm saying, how? Like, the
Aston Martin has been absolute booty cheeks so far this season that it's actually pissing me off. And I know you guys are pissed too. Heck, you don't even need to be an Aston fan to be frustrated. The team has fumbled the bag.
Oh,
hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
And they managed to pull that off through a multitude of different factors that you would have a stroke the moment I list them down, which is exactly what I'm gonna do in this video. So let's just quickly get into my rant of what has been ruining Aston Martin, starting with the car. It's shit. No pace, no speed, no efficiency. Just straight ass. Before the start of the season, Aston Martin revealed their 2024 car, the AMR 24, and promised us that it would be a strong contender for the championship. They were so confident about it, a car finally able to challenge the likes of Red Bull and McLaren. And we kind of had that for a bit. As in, for a day. In Bahrain 2024, Fernando qualified in
that's a lot. For a day.
P6, which was only one position down compared to last year. And everyone was going, oh, that ain't too bad. The team might actually deliver again. Until the race.
That is a pass for position. That is Lando Norris getting past Fernando Alonso.
McLarens have steadily passed Fernando Alonso. Lando did it a while ago. This is Oscar Piastri sneaking up the inside.
The green Aston Martins on the main straight, and that swap of position.
Aston Martin's race pace went out the fucking window. It was non-existent. Alonso went from fighting Mercedes and Ferrari for the podium in 2023 to fighting his teammate for a point. A point. I was in tears. And it continued to be like that throughout the season. The AMR 24 had decent qualifying pace, thanks to Fernando's ability to drag tractors into places they shouldn't be able to be in the first place, like P4 in Saudi Arabia, P5 in Japan, and even P3 in China. But the car had terrible race pace, so he lost all of those places in like 10 laps. And just before you think it couldn't get any worse, in some races, the AMR 24 couldn't even have decent qualifying pace. Miami, P13, Imola, P13. So the car was not just horrifying in the race, it was also horrifying in qualifying. God, that rhymes perfectly, but man, am I in pain. Aston Martin fumbled their season start so hard that Alonso has 33 points after 7 races compared to the 96 he had in 2023. But thankfully, even with a bad start, there were still fans believing that the team would improve. And these people were very, very optimistic. But unfortunately, a more fitting description for them would be extremely delusional. Because there's one other thing I want to point out. Upgrades. Aston Martin has no idea what this is. An F1 team season start can be complete garbage, but upgrades usually help the team improve mid-season. You know, McLaren did it in 2023 with a brilliant comeback in Silverstone and even did it in the 2024 season, topping off Red Bull. And Aston promised us the same in Hungary, where upgrades were going to be brought in to improve the AMR 24. And of course, us Aston fans were excited to see our GOAT Fernando Alonso and an actual GOAT in a potential rocket ship. And as we waited, and waited, Hungary finally came.
Fernando Alonso, these two have raced each other already this year, but that's a tidy move and an easy pass for the winner of the Australian Grand Prix.
Yeah, so the upgrades didn't fucking work. Upgrades have been Aston Martin's biggest weakness for God knows how long. The team likely has no idea what it is and probably mistakes it for downgrades, because it appears that every time they bring upgrades to the car, it gets slower. We can even see this in 2023. The team had a phenomenal start to the season, but they started fading because they didn't know what to do with the car. We can see it here, here, and here. These are car development charts for the 2023 season, and Aston Martin has lost pace in all of them. Even Williams managed to gain more time, and they don't just have a tractor of a car, but also a bulldozer of a driver. A moment of silence for Logan Sargent, by the way, or should I say Logan Sargoat. He truly will be missed. But back to this disgrace of a team. I guarantee you, if Aston Martin just fixes this problem, they would be unstoppable. Now, some people suspect Aston Karting's upgrade problems are because the team likely has some management issues in that sector. But I think it's because Inspector Seb is no longer a part of the team. A huge blow to Aston's development program. Thankfully though, Inspector Nando has been cooking lately, so hopefully that allows Aston to pop off later. Jokes aside, I understand the team has been working hard, and no offense to the people who have been. Huge credit to them. Sometimes things don't work, and that's okay. You know, better luck next time. However, what's still keeping me pissed about Aston is the hype they try to generate without backing it up. In almost every social media post, article, or interview, the team tries to glaze themselves so hard while delivering the most mediocre results. Crack, confident.
Yeah, actually, okay. I wouldn't say lobby. I have watched like last 3 races, and okay, I understand like Fernando is driving a long time, and he were in podiums as well, but like I don't know why the feeling that Stroll doesn't want to even try doesn't left my head. He is or out. He doesn't race at all, or he is just like at the very bottom. In the qualifying race, I hope I'm saying it right. Qualify. Sorry if I'm not. Again, I'm feeling uncomfortable, so I'm making these noises and sounds. So yeah, but yeah, they don't work, right? I would say they need to change some stuff. But yeah.
Then Aston Martin can close gap to F1 rivals with development. Yeah, so that didn't happen. By a long shot. They're all bark, no bite. You know, the team needs to know that silence with results is better than yapping without any. They're acting like the team is hot shit and making social media edits as if the car is actually fast, when things are actually running to the ground.
They are just trying. They are really trying. Oh, and yeah, this. I'm excited for this. Probably I hope he will show some of these things, because I haven't seen any of it, but some. A little. I don't know why. It feels kind of silly for me. But yeah.
Although Fernando's TikToks have been fire, so I'll forgive the social media team for now.
I think people gain a tremendous amount of wisdom when they travel, when they wander.
But pretty much, Aston had a horrible season.
What the heck was that? Seriously.
start this year, but add in capabilities of bringing in upgrades, they now have a horrible mid-season as well, officially throwing away all chances for the championship. Yeeted that shit to fucking Narnia. So all we can hope for now is Alonso's 33rd, which he could have gotten like last year, if the team just knew how to fucking upgrade. And I know a lot of you guys are asking, Rick, why haven't we heard you talk about Stroll? And well, don't worry, I'm going to, because he's the next problem. Who could have guessed, huh? One other reason why Aston...
Who would have guessed? Hey! No way. No way. Sorry.
Aston probably can't develop their fucking car is because one of the people they're asking for feedback on how to improve the car is Lance Stroll. And this is what his feedback sounds.
Oh, I didn't think that he is longer than Fernando. Okay. That is kind of surprise.
Like. This man bitched so hard in Japan, my ears started ringing. I mean, to be fair, the car was shit, but you don't see Alonso complaining. But overall, yeah, you know, Lance is a mid-driver at best. It didn't even take him 2 races to bid in the car this season. But well, we already know that he's a huge problem. So I won't even bother to complain about him that much. Other than, I want Max to replace him in 2026, or Sebastian. This lineup...
Yeah, I have heard of this as well. Is it gonna be it or not? We will see that later.
Would actually make me bust all over the place. What if I told you that there's actually a bigger problem than Stroll? A problem so big that it makes him look like this in comparison. And it's something called the Strollers. I just came up with that name last minute, but what I'm trying to say is die-hard Lance Stroll fans. Now, first of all, I thought these people didn't exist, but after just 20 seconds on F1 Twitter, aka the shithole, I guess they do. And I swear they are absolute NPCs. Like any other F1 driver worshipper, Lance Stroll fans meat-ride the guy so hard. They glaze the man into oblivion without even considering his most visible flaws.
Lance Stroll is so hot. No.
And there's a lot. And also, they always try to convince people that Stroll isn't actually that bad by saying shit like, at least he's better than Mazepin. Like, alright man, put his pants back up when you're done. But the thing that annoys me the most is when Strollers say that Lance is better than Fernando Alonso after he qualifies closer to him than usual. These people actually need to be studied. The moment Lance qualifies closer to Fernando, they glaze him into oblivion and Fernando gets flamed. When in reality, that moment happened after a shit ton of crashes. Why do they never talk about those?
Going up to rally on.
Complaining there? It's exactly where we saw Norris have his moment, except...
Oh no, Stroll's got a puncture. Stroll has a puncture. And his amble up to the back of Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, this one.
He had Stroll driving like it was his first go-kart race and not... I don't know what went through his brain when he saw his blue flag, but that cost another second.
I have no knowledge of any of this. This is so bizarre.
Stroll also...
Yeah. I'm still thinking what the heck Stroll is still doing there, but... The answer is, I think, it's his father. And that's it. And that's it. But yeah. Who am I? Who am I?
Drives better the shittier the car is, because in a shit car, Alonso can't extract much more out of it, allowing him to finish closer. And plus, has it not ever sunk in for you guys that maybe, just maybe, Lawrence Stroll is paying Alonso to be slower in races to make his son look better? And just before you think Alonso wouldn't take that bribe, I want you to think of the phrase $20 is $20. I have seen some of the straightest, most heterosexual men fold under zero pressure after being offered $20 to do some devious stuff. Heck, I've seen people not even hesitate if they get offered more than that.
You got for $100 million.
I'm sucking it.
Shaquille. Damn, let me get my shit off her. Damn.
So what makes you think Alonso wouldn't take it? Money's money, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sucking it.
Dick jokes aside, Lance Stroll can occasionally perform better than usual. But not gonna lie, that doesn't make him any better than Alonso in any way, shape, or form. And with that being said, let's actually talk about Fernando Alonso. Fernando has been brilliant for most of the season so far, but there have been cases where in qualifying, Lance can find better lap times than him, which was concerning. It mostly happens in Q2, and when it comes to Q3, there's a lot of times where we know Alonso can be significantly faster, but he just messes up somewhere in the lap. Now don't get me wrong, I still think he's a great driver, but Q3 has been Alonso's biggest weakness for the majority of his career. And now it's been pretty visible this season as well. And that's because Fernando is extremely unmotivated right now, because the car is complete dog shit.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
And when Alonso gets a shit car, he doesn't even bother. Now, he still pushes, but there's a point where he just stops caring.
The engine was going much slower than before. Amazing.
Because he knows no matter how hard he can push, the car ends up barely in the points anyway. It's actually so depressing how Aston Martin fans went from hoping for a podium or a win every race weekend to hoping for a point. We're cooked. But the problem isn't just that
it's bad for them. Yeah, but if your car isn't working, like you I don't know, you can't just ask, I don't know, Unicorn to just do some wonders and just or for some fairy dust, I don't know, what the heck. Like, you can do what you can do with the garbage that you have given.
that Fernando is extremely demotivated. It's also the fact that when Fernando is demotivated, he kind of takes the whole team with him. Team motivation is also another one of Alonso's biggest weaknesses. If something goes slightly wrong, he loses his patience very easily, and it has the potential to bring down the morale of the entire team. Which I really hope isn't the case, but it does seem like it. It's very reminiscent of his McLaren Honda days, where Alonso can become very difficult to work with if things get bad, so Aston is gonna need to rely on other ways to motivate the team. But with that being said, Fernando...
He needs some girls more, right? Guy, I think you are... Okay, I don't know. Bit too old, maybe, but it's... their judgment, but okay.
So being frustrated is still completely understandable. He committed the rest of his career to Aston Martin, so obviously he's gonna try to make the most of what he has left. And if the team is going to severely underdeliver and make false promises, then yeah, he's gonna be pissed. Also, I think Aston has been way too focused on the future, that they forget what's right in front of them. Everything I hear about this team is about what their plans are for 2025 and 2026, like potentially hiring Max Verstappen. Guys, why don't you potentially build a car properly first instead of one of these? And the Honda power unit?
Yeah, I guess this is... Every time when I'm seeing something about some team, it's ending up that someone didn't do his job, someone didn't upgrade right, or enough, or I don't know. But yeah, I guess that's kind of normal.
I'm honestly not that excited. It might be GP2 all over again. Ultimately, the team is in the gutter right now, and as long as these problems exist, Aston Martin is gonna keep being Aston midfield. I am praying that they improve in the future though, because they do have a lot of potential, and all it takes is just one good upgrade. Like seriously. One good upgrade would solve like half of their problems. And overall, I'm confident in the team's ability to do so because they have a lot of talented people in the team. From experienced engineers, crew, to world champions, allowing the team to have a very bright future. Never fucking mind.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this was interesting. Like, yeah, I was wondering why they are kind of in the middle. Like, they're doing kind of fine, but it's still not enough, you know. But yeah, this was really interesting. I'm kind of sad that he didn't show like Fernando's TikToks, I guess. There was just one video. I wanted to see more. I wanted to laugh more. Yeah, that's that. So yeah. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please consider to leave a like and subscribe, and hopefully I'm gonna see you next time. Bye!